It's hard to even know where to start, but I want to turn to you, Mr. Sergeant Vargas-Andrews. You described the scene as chaotic, that the State Department was not prepared, that they would completely shut down processing every evening and into the morning, leaving you and your colleagues with a nightmare, you called it. Could you describe that?
Yes, I can, Chairman. So for us, obviously, ground forces at Abbey Gate were routine, and I'm sure it was like this at other gates as well. But at Abbey, helping process between, 7 of us in our sniper team, we would go down, and if we weren't on the gun or we weren't catching a few winks, we would be down processing nationals and civilians, and talking with everyone down there. And from us, we were passed from our chain of command, throughout the evening to halt processing Afghans, to stop searching them. We kind of had to keep control of the crowd that was left over in the evening throughout, I would say, sundown to sun up. There was no plan in place throughout the evening, and the State Department would not take Afghans that we processed or searched, so eventually we just stopped throughout the evening. I'll go back to you.
Yeah, and I think, because you're correct, there was no plan. There was no plan. And then the plan was to leave the Taliban in charge of this evacuation, which led to the chaos and the bloodshed that ensued after that. I want to focus specifically on what you saw on August 26th. I know be on the lookout, an intelligence bulletin went out identifying 2 individuals as a potential IED threat.
That is correct.
To the Abbey Gate.
Yes, we routinely would send 2 or 3 guys back to collect intel from our intel assets over in the Joint Operations Command. And that morning around 2 a.m., we were passed that a suicide bomber was in the vicinity and in the surrounding neighborhoods, potentially moving towards the gate. We were told that he was wearing a brown man dress, a black vest. He would look clean shaven and be younger, with an older man traveling as his companion. And we saw just that on the 26th, around 12:30 in the afternoon.
And in fact, you said you passed along the communications network that there was a potential threat, an IED attack imminent. And in your words, this was as serious as it gets.
That is correct. We had eyes on these 2 individuals that fit the exact description that we were given from our intel assets. And we had pictures. We had them clear as day to be able to see through our scope with ease of fire on both individuals, as well as through our spotting scope. We have high-powered optics with quality lenses on our cameras to take clear-cut pictures of everything that we see. That is an enormous part of our job.
Do you still have those photos?
They were taken on an SD card when we turned them over to intelligence.
Then you said you requested from your commander, Lieutenant Colonel Brad Whitted, to come to the tower to see what you saw. And the psychological operations came to the tower and confirmed that the suspect met the suicide bomber description. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
So you had him?
We did.
And then you showed this evidence, and you asked your commander if you could shoot.
We did, Chairman. Both myself and my team leader asked for engagement authority, and he responded with he did not have that authority. So we asked who did. He told us he did not know and would go find out. In that time, in the time of talking with him and keeping eyes on this individual over the course of 30 minutes, the 2 individuals both disappeared into the crowd of thousands, as shown on the slides as I was talking. I mean, I think everyone can understand by looking at some of those pictures that I had up there how enormous the crowd was. I mean, it was unfathomable. Very easy to move through and conceal yourself, and that's what happened.
So you asked for engagement permission, And your commanding officer says, I don't know.
That is correct.
He doesn't know if you have permission to take out the threat.
Yes.
There are no rules of engagement on the ground.
We were told to pass to our command if we saw any suspicious activity or hostile intent, and that's exactly what we did. We were not returned with an answer.
And then you ask, well, who does
Yes.
know? And he says he doesn't know, but would find out, and he never got an answer to you.
He never did.
And the individual disappeared.
That he did.
And you believe that that was a suicide bomber.
We do.
And then you said, we made everyone on the ground aware. Operations had halted, started again. Plain and simple, we were ignored. Our expertise was disregarded. And then lastly, no one was accountable for our safety that day.
That is correct, Chairman.
No one was held accountable.
No one was, and no one is to this day.
Did your battalion commander run that request up the chain of command?
He should have. That was his responsibility to. I don't know if he did.
Wouldn't
I
that be
can't
the
answer to
normal
that.
protocol?
That would be the normal protocol, Chairman.
But we don't know. And as a result, we have 13 dead servicemen, women. We have 170 Afghans killed, and 45, including yourself, sir, injured.
That is correct.
Because that threat could not be taken out because your commanding officer couldn't give you the order.
That is correct.
Amazing.